Are you feeling empowered? Do you even know what that means? The word empowerment has been thrown around that it's becoming a buzzword. But you know what? Empowerment is more than just a buzzword. It is a responsibility. And that's what we are talking about today. So stay tuned because we are going deep. I'm Clara Capano, and this is Clarity in Action. Welcome to Clarity in Action. This is the show where we have real conversations that are going to challenge your perspectives and drive real action. So if you are tired of holding back and you're ready to make bold moves, this is the show for you. Join us as we are going to take you from confusion into clarity. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Clarity in Action. What we do on this show is we debunk myths. We really challenge the perspectives so that we can inspire deeper and greater action. And today we are really diving into this core concept of empowerment. It's a word, we've been hearing it, but it's a word that few truly understand or haven't learned how to truly define for themselves. So I am super excited to have one of my dear friends, one of my very favorite people in the entire world. So Leslie Liu, welcome to the show.
I am so fired up to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited because you are really, sharing something that's near and dear to you. But before we dive into the how you are working, let's talk about this myth of empowerment. When you hear that word empowerment, what happens inside you? What happens inside your mind and your spirit?
Empowerment gets thrown out so much. It's almost like it's lost its meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And in my work, I actually push back on that because I don't believe in giving people power. I believe in helping them remember what was never gone. And so we've turned empowerment into a buzzword.
Mm-hmm.
Conferences, Instagram captions, slogans, but a lot of that is performative. And the myth is that someone else can empower you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. Power doesn't come from being handed confidence or permission or a microphone. It comes from feeling safe enough in your body to use your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's being able to say no without apologizing. It's trusting yourself in uncomfortable moments. And it's knowing you're worth defending physically, emotionally, and energetically. And if someone doesn't feel safe, no amount of positive thinking will make them powerful.
Yeah. And I love that what you say is, it's about going into what is already there. Again, a conference doesn't give me the power. It's what's inside of me. So why do you think people are drawn to this word empowerment? Why do you feel they need that outside validation? Why do you think people are lacking being able to see it on their own?
I think it's easier to frame empowerment as this loud thing because we look outside of ourselves. We're trying to find this clarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not sure. But it's like you want the for sure thing.
Yeah.
I want to feel assured that I'm going to know when to step forward and I'm going to know when to step back.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is fear. And I think true empowerment is realizing you were never broken. You were conditioned to doubt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why so much like people and the word empowerment, I mean, it feels sexy and it feels great in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but at a deeper level of this conditioning and this fear and this doubt, it's not going to protect you by any means.
I really, really love what you said. And I hope people heard it. The idea that you are not broken. And I think part of the myth is, I think whatever it is, society, whatever you want to call it, I think they are trying to convince us that we are. And they're trying to sell us that new drug, that new whatever it is, that's going to quote unquote fix us. And I think you're right. We have to finally stand up and say, no, I'm not broken. My favorite saying that I love to use is, I'm not broken, just a little hail damage. It's like, Let me ask you, was there a time in your life that maybe you thought you were broken? And is that kind of what brought you on this journey to realize that we have it already inside of us?
Yeah, I think that it's a series of things, Clara. And for me, I mean, what for my background of like being a martial artist for 20 years and like going into that, what people know in a dojo and going to that women's self-defense class, I I tell people that the realization for me is that there's always a handful of people in the class that don't get it right away. And so when you see jujitsu and all this cool stuff and people doing moves and stuff, and it feels good and that feels like it's empowering. But for whatever reason, if you are a little bit slower or you learn differently, you feel like you're inadequate,
Mhm.
right? Like if I'm not 10% body fat, or if I don't have if I'm not fit, then I'm not worth saving. And so what was happening for me is the first time I was kind of learning some of this stuff, like on the ground, jujitsu, what people see on the screen with MMA and stuff. Uh, I I was terrified. I'm like, I have this background. I'm supposed to know how to do this, but I have been a victim and have been sexually assaulted all throughout my life. And because I wasn't getting it right away, I thought I'm I'm not valuable. I'm because I'm not getting this right in this moment. Like I might as well just surrender and let myself like I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And that's really what kind of started my journey in all of this is like, no, that's actually all BS
Mhm.
because we've been told that empowerment is like, yeah, we do the thing, we run the course, we win, win, win. But I think empowerment is what happens when you're faced with these moments that really terrify you. And
Mhm.
it's like, how am I going to get through this? And it's not this theatrical aha moment that's depicted in movies and all the stuff that we watch, right? It's knowing that you're going to take a metaphorical beating. It means that it's the realization that you're not going to come out of situations unscathed, right? Like emotionally. So I think for me, it was the realization that I don't need a savior and that no one's going to come save me.
Mhm. Exactly. And one of the cool things that you are doing that I really haven't seen anybody else do is with your background in the martial arts, a lot of that is in protecting your body. But you talked about this earlier, is you have really brought this together and married it so beautifully with protecting your voice. And so you teach people both in a physical realm, but also in their work environment, in their personal environments, the beauty of not only protecting their body, but protecting their voice and to know that they can speak up and teaching them how to create that safety in themselves, not look for that safety from someone else.
Yeah, it's really this what I do is really embodied safety.
Mhm.
And so it's much more than just physical, what you can do. It's really like, well, how do I hold a boundary?
Mhm.
How do I push back in a professional environment? How do I advocate for pay for myself?
Mhm.
And it's really having the mindset that I'm even worth fighting for these things. So it's really this mind body voice approach, which is so much more different than, hey, here's how you kick someone in the balls and make yourself feel really cool in the moment. I'm like, no, what I'm really speaking about here is like protection from the inside out.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. So, one of the things that I personally have found on my own journey is that one of the things that makes me feel, if I'm going to use this word, empower, is by opening the doors for other people, and really reflecting that the only reason I'm where I am is because others helped me here. And you're doing the same thing, is you are, again, taking this concept that we all have our own strength. Sometimes we just need someone to open the door and to give us the opportunity so that we can take our shot. And you are part of an organization that is really working to do that. So I would love to have you tell us a little bit more about how this organization and this new opportunity that you have is taking this idea of empowerment, but taking it more from a standpoint of opportunity.
Yes. Here it is. So I'm the founder of a company called Reclaiming Your Courage, and I made the decision that I wanted to have kind of a leg in my business that really stood for my values, which is love, courage, and community. And so I really wanted to find partners where I could really feel that profit can be part of purpose. Like you don't, they can coexist. You don't have to have one or the other. And so, like, I recently announced that I have this partnership with Duha International. And this work is about access, not charity. And the women that Duha works with already have skills, ideas, and grit. And what they've been locked out of is access to capital, mentorship, and trust. And so Duha doesn't rescue, they invest. And that alignment matters deeply to me. And so I kind of, what I bring in this partnership is really this like safety from the inside out, and that you are worth protecting. And Duha, what they are doing is that they are providing microloans for women who have businesses in Niger, who are they have businesses, but they need support in scaling to provide for even basic needs like food for their children.
Yeah. Wow. So powerful. And again, it's that word access. They and like you said, they're not charity. It's this purposeful. They're willing to do the work. They have the grit, they have the tenacity, they have the structure. They just need the access. And what could be more empowering than helping people gain the access? Clarity in Action is proudly sponsored by Telehealth for Her, where women's health finally gets the attention it deserves. At Telehealth for Her, they offer professional, comprehensive medical care designed to optimize your hormones, restore your gut health, and boost your energy. Because let's get real. Who doesn't need more energy? Your body is the foundation of everything you build. So let's make sure we are fine tuning it for optimal performance. So if you've been out there crushing it in life, but still feeling a little bit off with some of that brain fog, hormone changes, sleepless nights, or emotions that are all over the place, I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. Telehealth for Her helps ambitious women just like you take back control and feel like yourself again so that you can keep leading with purpose and power. Check them out at mariahprinceallen.com or Telehealth for Her and start your journey back to a vibrant, unstoppable you. Clarity in Action is proudly sponsored by My Cluck Hut. Yes, the soap company that is the one your mother should have warned you about. Now, don't let the name fool you. This eco-friendly soap company will get you clean without feeling dirty. But you know what? My Cluck Hut is about more than just getting clean. They have built and continue to grow a community that gives a cluck about the planet, about people, and about creating a reality where diversity and sustainability are not a pipe dream, but fundamental core values. So when you shop with My Cluck Hut, you're not just buying soap. You're choosing to be a part of something bigger than any one of us can be alone. So if you believe in shopping with purpose and from a brand that isn't afraid to speak truth to power, then go check them out, mycluckhut.com. The 2025 Tennessee Pride Chamber Allied Business of the Year. My Cluck Hut, it's more than a soap company. It's a clucking revolution. I don't know if you have any success stories that you can share on this foundation and how this company has been able to help with these people and to help them open up and, again, change lives.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. What I love what Duha says all the time, and I was like, I really wish I came up with this line, but they really believe in hand me ups and not hand me downs.
Ah,
And that resonated with me so much because my philosophy with the humanitarian work that I've done over the years is really like teaching people how to fish.
Mhm.
right? And so this is a dignity based and data backed model. And these interest free microloans are paired with mentorship, and the women repay, they graduate, and they reinvest in their families and communities. And there's a whole vetting process. Like they're not just given these loans, like there's accountability, they have to sign an agreement. And what's phenomenal about Duha is that they have seen 4 times the growth in the last 3 years, and so they've gone from supporting 7 women entrepreneurs in 2022 to 29 in 2025. And so they have supported 78 women total, and they have 62 active businesses operating throughout Niger. And what really stands out is that they have a 91% success rate among committed participants, and 10 women who fully repaid their loans with an average repayment timeline of 14 months.
Yeah.
So it's really about sustainability. And I think that is sexy. And I think that is empowering.
I think it is too. And, just going into this concept of empowerment, empowerment isn't just helping yourself and finding your own voice. It's again sharing that voice with others. And it's that ripple effect that it has in the community and in your inner circle. And that's real power right there. So,
Yeah, and it goes hand in hand, like I teach safety,
mhm,
and what other way to kind of marry with an organization like this that is really about economic stability as a means of safety.
mhm,
I mean, what blows me away about this is that we're helping women who probably have faced domestic violence situations, who have a really, really rough time and are very vulnerable. And so sometimes, in other countries, when you are vulnerable, you do things out of desperation. But economic power is personal power. And so for me, if in supplying these microloans, we're ensuring that these women are not dependent
mhm,
on male counterparts in exchange for, you know, who knows what,
mhm.
right? So we're basically, really modeling accountability and helping these women not be financially dependent for anyone. And I think that is like kind of the essence of everything we're talking about today.
And I think there's so many just lessons for the layperson that's in that. Again, if you see a friend of yours struggling, don't just give the hand out, give the hand up, say, work with them and say, we'll do this. But again, bringing that accountability in, because I think that accountability is not a bad word. Accountability is very powerful because when people are accountable, they take ownership, and the level of pride that they then have in not only the work they do, but in themselves. That's sexy. And that's
Yeah.
power.
That and sustainability is power, right? Like, does it feel great? I think I have this image growing up of like Sally Struthers. Was it Sally Struthers? Where I used to watch all those like TV things of like, hey, donate to feed the children or whatever. I think of that, right? And I'm like, huh, I mean, that's instant gratification. You give money, you want to be able to have someone eat a meal, and that feels great. We just came off of the holidays. But when I really think about empowerment, it's not a buzzword, it's a responsibility. And so the fact that we are giving these women an opportunity to hold themselves accountable
Mhm.
and to build something that's going to provide a legacy for their children, um yeah, to me that blows anything else out of the water. And I feel it in my bones and in my core, rather than sitting somewhere throwing the word out
Yeah.
like empowerment. It's investing in women who are already doing the work, and that's how entire communities and economies shift.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that, when you talk about, investing in others, their community, I think also we have to learn that we have to invest in ourselves. And, going back to the earlier conversation we had, that, you can invest in yourself to go to a conference, read a book, do all these things. And all of that is a great starting point. But it comes back to that sustainability. What are you going to do after the conference? What are you going to do after. So if there's somebody out there that's listening to this that is feeling like maybe they aren't empowered right now, that they need some help with their own voice, what would be a starting point for them that you would say, maybe look at this or ask yourself this question? What could be a good starting point to help someone on their own personal journey towards true empowerment?
Yeah. I have it tattooed on my forearm that
Mm,
you're worth fighting for. And it really starts there, and really, instead of looking for answers outside of yourself, right? Like looking for the next coach that's going to give you the answer, or or someone who's going to give you the golden ticket, so to speak, Willy Wonka style. It's like, hey, I'm stuck in this rut. I would say to really sit in those feelings instead of trying to push out, instead of trying to push things out, instead of trying to keep yourself busy, instead of trying to read 10 more books. It's it's really simple going inward practice.
mhm,
And so I would recommend things like meditation.
mhm,
I would recommend things like the practice of affirmations,
mhm,
of journaling, right? It's self-reflection, it's self-actualization. And
mhm,
it's not until we go inward till we can look onto others. And I think that sometimes with empowerment, we have it reversed. We're constantly looking for the next thing or the next big idea that's going to help us like reach enlightenment. And like, if we just take some more natural pauses and are a lot more intentional about our visions for ourselves, we're nourishing ourselves. And as someone who's a recovering people pleaser, I will say like, hey, I'll give you a perfect example. We just came from the holidays. My family is not wearing matching outfits. I didn't send any Christmas cards. And it's because I've detached from the idea that I need those things to make me feel like a great mom.
mhm.
And so instead of like worrying about what other people were going to think, I spent the time resting.
Yep.
I spent the time really embracing that rest can be productive. And so, if I give you one thing, if you're listening to this, is that instead of overextending and trying to burn the midnight oil so that you can get to the answer quicker, I'm like, well, what if rest was more productive? And what if you defended and fought for yourself the way that you would go to bat for your child or for your dog or for anyone in your communities? It's like that's the energy you want to take and focus that inward.
That's so beautiful. I love it. So, Leslie, if somebody is following this and they want to learn more about the organization, they want to learn more about you, maybe working with you, what is the best place for people to connect with you?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm all up on the socials. So on Facebook, Leslie Liu. So my last name's Lew. On LinkedIn, you can find me there. My website is reclaimingyourcourage.com. And so I would love, and so you will be able to kind of see the work that I do with Duha and follow them as well. And I'd love to just have a conversation of if any of this is resonating with you, if you really feel called for more. And I think that that's when empowerment really sprouted for me, is that, yeah, it was no longer about me. It was like, well, I know that I'm meant for more and I want to do good in the world and I want to make an impact. So how do I do that? And that's what started that journey.
Oh, it's beautiful. So, Leslie, I have one last question for you before I let you go today. And that is, sitting where you are today, learning everything you've learned up to this point, how do you define success for yourself today?
It is the same thing that I keep my kids accountable for, actually, in terms of like, what's my report card of like, do I have happy or healthy kids? And so I've been thinking about this a lot lately, actually. So interesting that you even asked me this. But my measurement of success is my ability to stay humble and to receive love fully and to give love fully.
Beautiful. Oh,
That's it.
Leslie, you are a beautiful human inside and out, and you've impacted my life. And I know that you are impacting the lives of others. And I am so excited for this new opportunity and cannot wait to see what you bring together and just keep doing all those great things. Thank you for being here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Clara.
There were so many great things that Leslie talked about. I loved when she talked about the idea of not giving a handout, but giving a hand up. How empowering is it to be able to open the door and give access to others who are wanting to do the work, who are passionate about what they're doing, and they just need some help gaining that access. I love how she talked about the idea that we can't go looking for that fix. It's inside us. And we have the power inside of us. We're not broken. Sometimes we just need to do a little bit more of that intuition, that internal work, and not looking for someone else. Again, someone else might be able to help us with the access, but there's nothing wrong with us. We are perfectly imperfect the way that we are. And I love how she talked about this idea that there is a place for both profit and purpose. It's not one or the other. And doing the work that Leslie's doing, that's a great way to bring it in. So remember, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to ourselves, and we have a responsibility to others. So give yourself the access and make sure that you're continuing to open the doors for those around you. So I'd love to hear back from you. Keep following us and let us know what it's like for you to feel empowered. Keep sharing with us, and don't forget to come back next time. We have new episodes every week. We'll see you next time. I'm Clara Capano. This is Clarity in Action.